Um, Hello guys, I'm about to start the ovirt-Katello integration deep dive. If anyone can give some sign of life, can you view the slides? Okay. Okay, so let's start. So basically in ovirt 3.6, we've introduced a few features to ease the management of hypervisors in the ovirt-engine system. I'll talk briefly about the two first of them, and then the entire presentation will be about the Katello integration. So the first feature is the host upgrade manager, which allows the admin to specify via the engine config tool any packages he would like to update for his host. And as part of the upgrade process, in addition to pre-configured packages such as VDSM and VDSM CLI, the admin will benefit from the pre-configuration, the installation of the additional packages. Another feature is the certificate enrollment. The certification of ovirt is expired in several years than its installation, and instead of enforcing the admin to reinstall the entire host, he can just renew his certification. So those two features rely on the ovirt host deploy, and they provide easier maintenance of the host. It also saves the need to set the hosts into maintenance mode and to reactivate them. In addition, in ovirt 3.6, we've enhanced the integration with Katello. Actually, the integration previously with Foreman, and Katello is a plugin of Foreman, which allows to manage the content and view the content of the host. So basically, the integration includes reporting available errata for the engine server itself, for its hypervisors, but not for the ovirt nodes, and for virtual machines. Let's talk about the architecture. So basically, we can see in the slide that the ovirt-engine communicates with the Katello satellite, the same method as it communicates with the Foreman. It's the same JSON over HTTP. But there are new components that are bought by the Katello server from the Katello side. So the first is the candle pin, where the subscription of either the ovirt-engine, the hypervisors, or the VM itself to the subscription itself, which channels the hosts or VMs are subscribed to. There is the pulp, which is the repository management, actually the repository of all the packages that will be downloaded or reported as containing available updates for the managed entities on the engine side. So on each component on the engine side, such as the hypervisor or the VM, there should be a Katello agent installed. The Katello agent is actually the component that knows to communicate with the Katello server via Cupid and to report the existing data on the host or the VM itself. And the Katello server knows to calculate what are the differences, what are the available updates that existed, that are currently existing on the pulp, on the packages repositories, but not installed on the hosts or the VM themselves. And the ovirt-engine just uses the API that Katello exposes to report them to the ovirt-engine admin. So basically how it was implemented. We reused, as I said before, the external provider. We just renamed it from Foreman to Foreman/satellite. We'll see it in a few minutes in the demo. The Errata are retrieved from the Katello server, either for the ovirt-engine, the hosts, or for the VMs. Each time a request is being sent, same for the UI and for the API. There is no persistency of any Katello information on the engine side, and the retrieving the information is done via the known query mechanism. There are three groups of queries for the engine, for the hosts, and for the VM. And there is also a query to fetch a single errata if needed. This is mainly for the use of the REST API. Okay, so briefly about the REST API, we'll see later on a demo for it. The ovirt-engine level erratas are exposed as a top-level collection. Right after the /API/Katello errata. For the host errata equivalently under the host resource Katello errata, and same goes for the VMs, where, as I said before, each query will bring all of the errata of the specific entity, and you can add also slash after the Katello errata slash the erratum ID to retrieve a single errata. So how things are being configured in order to be able to enjoy from this feature. So first, you need to have Katello server installed on your setup, and you should configure either the ovirt-engine, the host, or the VM as a content host on the Katello side. So content host in Katello 2.1 or in Satellite 6.1 is the representation of the host that is being managed by for the content sake. There is another hosts collection on the Foreman side for the physical or for the hosts from the non-content aspect of it. So on each host, the admin should install, and this is out of band, so it is not being done as part of the ovirt-host deploy. It should be pre-configured by the administrator of the Katello and the administrator of the hosts. The Katello agent should be installed, and the host should be registered to Katello, well, host VM or engine, or the ovirt-engine. And host should be registered by the subscription manager tool, which basically implied that, as far as I know, that only Red Hat Enterprise Linux server flavors are supported by that, and for them, well, they are the only types of operating system that are having Errata in a method that Katello server supports. So in order to register the host, it can be done by the activation key or by configuring environment. Those are steps that are being done on the Katello server itself. And for VMs, there should be also the guest agent installed. The reason for the guest agent is that the ovirt-engine will be able to identify the VM by its FQDN that is reported by the guest agent. The ovirt-engine identifies the hosts as content host on the Katello side by their FQDN, which is a requirement for registering the hosts into the Katello server. So by that, by the name, the hosts are being identified, and their errata is fetched, are fetched. So the guest agent reports the FQDN for the VMs, so it has to be installed in order for VMs to be able to enjoy from getting errata information. So let's go for a quick demo. Okay. So this is the dashboard of the Katello. I went straight to the hosts, content host screen, where we can see that there are 2 hosts registered, and for each host there is errata information available for it. Currently there are 2 hosts, but for the sake of the demo, I will reuse the same FQDN for more than one engine entity. So let's start with how it is looked on the engine side. So on the left system tree, a new leaf is added named Errata. This is the errata for the ovirt-engine server. In case the ovirt-engine server is registered to Katello, it will present the available errata. In case it is not registered, there will be some message specifying that the ovirt-engine is not registered to any Katello server. So in order to have the errata for the ovirt-engine, there is no need to do any special configuration from the ovirt-engine server to tie the ovirt-engine to the Katello server. The resolution of the ovirt-engine as content host of the Katello side is done implicitly by iterating over the available external providers of the Foreman type, Foreman or satellite type. And we just search if there is a host if there is a content host with a FQDN name that matches the ovirt-engine. So since I've registered the ovirt-engine to the Katello server, I'm able to see the errata of it. And we can see that there are three types of errata. There is a security errata, bugs, or enhancement. And by default, all of them are checked. We can uncheck some of the type, and the list will be filtered immediately. Clicking on a specific erratum will open the subtab with all the details for the erratum, specifically the ID, the date the erratum was issued, the type and its severity, and also description, solution summary, and the packages that will be installed upon in case of applying the errata. Applying the erratum. Applying the erratum is not part of the existing integration. It is doable from the Katello server, not from ovirt-engine as part of the existing of the current integration. So navigating between the erratum and playing with the filter as wishes. Next is will be showing the erratum for hosts. So the hosts should be installed with their FQDN name as they were registered to the Katello server. So if on the Katello server I have, for instance, Masayag, BDSM6, usersys, and so on, that's the same FQDN I used when I added the host into the system. If the host was registered originally via Foreman, so it will be automatically associated with it as a content provider, as a Katello or satellite provider. If not, user can select the edit button and associate the host with the desired Foreman or satellite server. So here the host is already associated, and we can notice a new subtab named Errata that clicking on it, regardless of the status of the host, will retrieve the errata information. So this view is a bit different than the view of the ovirt-engine errata. It contains some sort of statistics or just counting of the errata by their types, and clicking of any of the erratum, any of the types will present all of the erratum, and the filter will be, in a second or two, will be adjusted according to the user selection. So same goes for selecting other types by the filter, and clicking on a specific erratum will open the same details as we saw before. So next, we'll see the erratum for the VM. So the VM is being identified by its FQDN as a content host on the Katello server, and a new tab named Errata was added. In order to associate the VM with the Katello server, with a Foreman or satellite, the user have to edit the VM, and on the left tab, left panel, there is a Foreman satellite tab, and here we'll select either the Foreman content or no provider. And once the Errata subtab is selected, we'll see the list of Errata for the VM. It contains the same counting of the Errata divided by their types. And same screen, same behavior exactly as for hosts. So let's continue with the presentation. That's pretty much sums the entire integration between ovirt and Katello. There are a few screenshots in case the demo wasn't working properly, but it did. And that's it. That's all I had to say and describe about the integration. If anyone has have a question, please feel free to ask. Okay, so I don't see any questions. So thank you everyone for joining the deep dive for the ovirt-Katello integration, and goodbye. Oh, wait, maybe we do have a, no, I've checked the IRC, there weren't any questions there. Okay, so I got the question, what's the differences between the host upgrade manager feature to the Errata? So the host upgrade manager features relies on the ovirt host deploy and provides the ability for the user, for the admin, to configure a static or configurable set of packages to be upgraded as part of the ovirt host deploy process, as part of installing the host. This list is static and mainly concerned the packages that the ovirt or the hypervisor are interested in. They might not include any urgent security bugs or highly important bugs that should be applied. For that purpose, the Errata becomes handy because it can instantly, the admin can instantly get a clear view from the ovirt-engine about what are the risks or what are the important packages that you should apply on the hosts and apply them via the Katello server. Any additional questions? Okay, so thank you everyone for joining and have a great day.